Come to me, Captain America. Oh, kisses. Back to you. Back to you. I did literally. I said, "Get me Glenn Kirschner" yesterday. I said, even if we win, you're my binky. However, have I never needed to get Glenn Kirschner more than this morning? Glenn, I am weirdly for me calm because I believe what Biden and Nate Silver and other that are saying, that we are going to win this. Just stay calm, which is basically what you've been saying, right?
Yeah, and here's the big picture. The courts will hold, and we can talk more about why that is in a minute. But assuming Biden takes the White House, he is going to start with the executive orders like nobody's business, revoking all of Trump's bad ones and actually promulgating good executive orders for the country. And here's the other thing. It's a clean sweep of the corruption out of the executive branch. It's a law enforcing attorney general. And guess what he or she gets to do? Begin investigating 4 years of Republican crimes and corruption. Yeah. We're going to be okay.
Well, Glenn, this is what I said is why I know, again, what the head wants and what the heart wants. I mean, my heart wants you, but there is a Mrs. Kirschner. So that's my point is my head, we knew this. We knew this. This is laser focused, as some judges have said. The Republican state legislatures made sure places like Pennsylvania couldn't start counting what is going to be heavily skewed Democratic votes until today. We knew Donald Trump was going to declare victory and send his lawyers in and declare fraud. So that's why we should remain calm, right? These votes are going to be counted, right?
They are going to be counted, and he's got no new tricks in his bag, right? So the various states have rules and laws that provide, as long as ballots are postmarked by November 3rd, they can be counted for a number of days depending on the states. 3 days in Pennsylvania, 10 days in Maryland, right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. When Trump stood up last night and said, I think he actually said stop the voting, but it's more stop the counting.
Yes.
That is an attempted coup. That is a violation of the state's laws
it's illegal.
And procedures.
You said it's illegal.
It's absolutely illegal. And here's the thing. Let's take some comfort in what we know the courts have done. First of all, if the Supreme Court wanted to make him a king, wanted to put him beyond the reach of the criminal justice system and of the courts, they would have done it in July, when that very issue was in front of the Supreme Court in Donald Trump's tax case. And what happened? Both of his own draft picks, Gorsuch and Kavanaugh, said, we're not doing it. You're but a mere mortal. Follow the rules like everybody else. That is foreshadowing of what will happen if an election case bubbles up to the Supreme Court.
Yeah. Well, this morning, Glenn, just to update everybody, because I know everybody's on pins and needles, the Biden campaign saying they're growing confident they have beaten Trump. 5 reasons why they believe they won. Wisconsin expected to be called this morning. Michigan vote by mail lead is insurmountable, will be called midday. Philly vote by mail will come in tonight or tomorrow. Georgia result midday or early afternoon. Nevada called tomorrow. So, and obviously, Judge Emmett Sullivan, one of the heroes, one of the patriots in this whole thing, as you said yesterday, thank you again, Judge Emmett Sullivan. If one solitary ballot goes undelivered, DeJoy should be ordered to show cause as to why he should not be held in contempt. Federal judge orders UPS to rush delivery of mail ballots as deadlines near. Well, of course, they defied it yesterday. UPS disregards court order to conduct sweeps in 12 postal districts after more than 300,000 ballots couldn't be traced.
Right.
Tell us where that is at.
Sure. So I am not yet going to say, DeJoy, you're going to jail today. Nor am I going to say, bring your toothbrush.
But you're saying here come to judge.
Here come to judge. Beautiful. a little flip Wilson. But here's the thing. Here's what I think Judge Sullivan might do, which is one step on the road to contempt. Today, he's going to make the U.S. Postal Service stand up or call into his courtroom, and he's going to say, you violated my order, right? And I am therefore directing you to show cause why you shouldn't be held in contempt, and I'm going to set a hearing date for that. Contempt doesn't work like, somebody who violated a court order walks in the front door and gets led through the back door by the U.S. Marshals. There are procedures that have to be followed, but you know what? If any judge is going to follow them, it's going to be Judge Sullivan.
Yeah. Well, yes, you said morning team justice. This is a difficult time for people who care about ethical government, about decency and empathy, about diversity and equality. We'll watch the vote count continue. We'll watch Judge Sullivan work heroically to ensure that no ballot is left behind. We will stay true. You just counseled over and over again on Twitter, just breathe, stay the course. The counting will continue, obviously, tomorrow and today and perhaps beyond. So this is now. Wait, you said he's hauling Postal Service back into court at noon. Is that today? Yes, today.
Noon today.
Yeah.
Noon today.
Okay. So what happens there? I mean, you said
what
DeJoy's
happens-
crimes must not be allowed to thwart deliberately in the counting of all ballots. Period.
Yeah. I think Sullivan will double down on his order that they continue to sweep postal facilities and they make sure all ballots that were postmarked by November 3rd get where they need to go and get counted. And it's going to be a battle royale between Sullivan and the U.S. Postal Service. But believe me, Judge Sullivan is up to it. But one other thing, Steph, the reason I say the courts will hold and we're all going to be okay, let's look at Texas as an example. The Texas Supreme Court, populated entirely by Republicans, said we might not like drive-through voting, but those 127,000 ballots will be counted. And then it goes over to the federal court, and a federal judge appointed by George W. Bush actually said, I don't like ruling this way, but the law demands it. Those 127,000 ballots will be counted. That is an entirely Republican slate of judges ruling the right way, whether they liked it or not. The courts will hold. The state of the judiciary is strong.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what we need to hear this morning. I'm just reading the story, and I'm not a lawyer, Glenn, obviously, but this is so the Postal Service turned down a federal judge's order to sweep mail process. I'm like, you don't get to do that. What do you mean? No, we'd rather not. This is a court order. Right. They say, instead they'll stick to their own inspection schedule. So they had said they must be, they gave them until 3:30 to conduct the all clear checks. His order affected 12 postal districts spanning 15 states. So this is not small. But a filing sent to court just before 5 o'clock, the Justice Department said they would not abide by the order to better accommodate inspectors' schedules. I'm like, what about a democracy? What about the American people's schedule? What about the election at the United States of America?
And here's the only thing I will say. If the court ordered something that was logistically impossible and the USPS would have to prove that, then they're going to get some wiggle room. They're going to get some wiggle room, but they have to make sure that they implement sort of the intent of the judge's order, and that's what we're going to hear about today at noon.
They said they'd complete them by 8 p.m. This was yesterday, but 8 p.m. is too late. In some states, 5 p.m. is too late. So then they know this. The voting and postal experts say the mail agency should be able to process 97% of incoming ballots or completed ballots sent to election officials, but data shows the postal system missed that mark 7 out of 8 days. Again, by design, Glenn, and by design in Democratic strongholds and in battleground states, in 17 postal districts in swing states that account for 151 electoral votes, more than 81,000 ballots were untraceable. Well, we know from the last election that can make all the difference. So this was, again, by design. And the judge said, think about it. Every year, everyone knows to file taxes by April 15th. It's seamless. If you don't file, there's penalties. Everyone knows that's a given. But anyway, he was talking about the spaghetti-like state by state vote by mail, and that's what Republicans are just trying to. They're trying to even like in Minnesota, it's written on the ballot what the deadline is. They're trying to change it, right, to just to suppress Democratic votes. Period. There's no guise anymore.
Trump had a nefarious plan, and he implemented it by appointing a corrupt postmaster general to slow the mail, to do two things: hopefully suppress votes that would be bad for him, and second, inject chaos so he can then walk into court and say, oh, it was so chaotic, you've got to throw out the results. Judges some of them may be hard right, they may be ideologues, but they're not stupid, just as the Texas Republican judges proved to us both locally and federally. They're not going to buy this. It's going to be okay, and Joe Biden is going to be in the White House. And then let the executive orders flow and let the investigations and prosecutions of criminal Republicans begin.
Yes, sir, Mr. Attorney General.
Yeah, Biden has said before there will be no pardons for for
Yeah,
Trump.
yeah. Well, and you said sadly, Glenn, the question is how much additional illegality Bill Barr will let Trump get away with. I mean, we're already on to what kind of effery is going to happen before January 20th. What is the time frame, Glenn, you think that we are going to know this? Do you have
I think we're going to know once those states come in and are called for the outstanding states are called for Biden. We're going to know he's well over the 270.
Yeah.
And at that point, I think the Trump court attacks are going to completely fall flat. Trump's going to be done. And then the only question is, does he flee to a non-extraditable state or does he stay put to face the music?
He was talking just yesterday about how great Russia and North Korea are and how America sucks.
Yep.
He actually literally said that Russia and North Korea are easier to deal with than America. That was quite a closing argument.
Nobody will accuse him of being a patriot.
Yeah, ever. Glenn, thank you, honey. I needed you either way this morning. So
Yes.
So
thank you, Steph. We're going to get there. We're going to get there.
Yeah, of course we'll hold.
The country needed you this morning.
Do you mean hashtag justice is coming?
I love it.
All right.
And justice matters.
I look forward to the day when there are several layers of security between us and I cannot get through to your attorney general's office.
Never.
But yes, I'm just a trashy little radio host, but one that he really likes, please. I hope you're too busy to take my call. All right. Love you, Glenn.